Hello everyone. Today we are going to discuss about programming environments, and we will discuss about implicit parallelism and explicit parallelism. If you observe here, uh, if you observe the old processors where each program is executed in sequential environment, where each instructions were executed one after the another. But as the evolution took place, um, parallel computers were designed, and the OS must handle parallelism. uh, so again, there are two types. One is, you observe here, we can achieve parallelism two ways. One is implicit parallelism, and second is explicit parallelism. And if you go to implicit parallelism, so if you observe here implicit parallelism, so programmer will write the program, and usually the source code is written in C, C++, Fortran, or Pascal. And the main thing is that it is called implicit because we all the parallelism is handled by the compiler. This compiler is called as parallelizing compiler. So whatever the user writes a program like C or C++, it is given to parallelizing compiler that will create parallel object code. Then after that, the system will execute the program at runtime. It is called implicit because programmer is not doing any special effort to write parallel programs. Here compiler itself does parallelism. Okay, but in explicit parallelism, if you observe here in explicit parallelism, so there is more burden on the programmer part, because here we are writing parallel code in the C or C++, that is concurrent dialects. So everything is handled by the programmer itself. So here compiler, there is less burden on the compiler but more burden on the programmer. That's why it is called explicit, because programmer is explicitly specifying which part of the program should be uh, executed parallelly. Okay, so that is the main difference between implicit parallelism and explicit parallelism. So the next topic in module 1 is multiprocessors and multi-computers, and here we discuss about shared memory multiprocessors, distributed memory multiprocessors. Then we will discuss about taxonomy of MIMD computers, and also some examples regarding those architectures. Again, in shared memory architectures, we have four models: UMA model, NUMA model, COMA model, and CC NUMA model. So we will discuss each with its block diagram in the next section. So next we will discuss about the UMA model. So UMA is nothing but uniform memory access. If you observe in the diagram, so we have multiple processors, so P1, P2 up to Pn. So we have multiple processors, that's why it is called as multiprocessors. And we have a shared memory, so all the processors are sharing the memory. That is why it is called as uniform memory access model. So in this model, all processors have equal access time to all the memory words. That is why it is called as uniform memory access. And multiprocessors are also called as tightly coupled systems due to the high degree of resource sharing. So they are sharing the memory here, so that is why it is called as tightly coupled systems. And if you, by seeing the diagram itself, you can easily write one or two paragraphs. That is, we have to connect one or two or n processors and a shared memory and an input output and a bus to connect these processor and shared memory. A simple diagram can fetch you 5 marks. So next we discuss about NUMA model. So NUMA is nothing but non-uniform memory access. So in this model, each processor is having its own local memory. Okay, they have discussed here two models. So each processor is having its own local memory, and the collection of all this local memory form a global address space that can be accessed by all the processors. Okay, and it is non-uniform because it depends on the location of the memory address uh, to access the data. So that is why it is called as non-uniform memory access. You see here we have each processor connected to clustered shared memory. So this is a cluster one. In cluster one we have many processors with its own local memory, and like that we can have n number of clusters, and it is connected to global interconnection network, and these are called as global shared memory. Global shared memory. So next we will discuss about COMA model. So it is called as cache only memory architecture. So we observe here each processor is having its own cache. Okay, instead of having its own memory, shared memory, local memory, it is having its own cache, and these are used for, these stands for directory here. Suppose if you want to access data outside the network, then you have to refer to directory, then you have to access the cache. So we will have some examples as we further study about this multiprocessor in depth. And then we will have some example programs, so we will understand how the caches will improve the performance. So time being, here in this each processor is having cache.